Welcome into the Knoxville Ice Bears podcast and welcome back to hockey season. My name is Joel Silverberg. So great to be back with the start of the regular season upon us this weekend. All 10 teams in action Friday and Saturday. Got a couple of games on Friday, got some games on Saturday. It's so good to be back. We had a couple of preseason games last weekend. My name is Joel Silverberg. Thank you so much for checking out the Knoxville Ice Bears podcast, whether you're doing so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or on YouTube. Thank you so much for checking us out. The Ice Bears had a preseason game last Friday against Birmingham. Offense looked pretty good. Hunter Verostek looked really solid in net. We had some big storylines kind of coming out of that preseason game. Some new players, a lot of returning players. There's been a little bit of a roster shuffle since that preseason game, obviously, with AHL guys getting sent down to the ECHL, resulting in ECHL tryout players being cut and sent back to their SPHL teams. So it's been a bit of a shuffle over the past few days. Knoxville getting ready to head to Fayetteville, North Carolina to take on the Marksmen to open up the season on Saturday. Kind of an interesting start of the year for both teams. Knoxville and Fayetteville, both a lot of returning players, but also some new pieces, both in the rookie class, but also with players that played in the SPHL last season. For Knoxville, additions of guys like Jared Cupp, Blake Tosto, Troy Button. For Fayetteville, they trade Nick Parody, who had been a really key point of their decor, and they get Colby Muse. They've announced Muse's signing earlier this week. Muse, of course, was the SPHL goaltender of the year last season in Peoria. They make a trade with Roanoke. They send out Christian Acosta. They acquire the rights to Tim Kent. So both teams have made some moves over the offseason. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how all of this plays out, and we will have the call for you. It's a 6 o'clock start time on Saturday. We'll have the call for you on our new flagship station, 93.7 WVLZ. You can still listen on the Knoxville Ice Bears Game Day app, just like you've always been able to, so you can download that app on the App Store or on Google Play. You can go to 93.7 FM on your radio dial, or you can listen on the 93.7 WVLZ app or on their website, 937WVLZ.com. Really exciting storyline coming out of the preseason game. We are going to talk to Drew King, who is a member of the Knoxville Ice Bears front office staff. He is the head coach of the Tennessee Ice Falls. And he suited up and played and scored a goal on Friday in the preseason game. So very excited to be able to talk to Drew about that. So we're going to break that down and kind of get Drew's take on the results of the preseason game as well. He got a really good look at this team being on the bench and being out on the ice with this group of Ice Bears. So all of that and more to come as we get ready for the start of the regular season right here on the Knoxville Ice Bears podcast.
You're listening to the Knoxville Ice Bears podcast, sponsored by Wings Etc. Good food and great times await at Wings Etc.
Welcome back to the Knoxville Ice Bears podcast. My name is Joel Silverberg. Again, we'd like to also remind you that our podcast is brought to you this year by Wings Etc. So happy to have them back as a partner. You can check them out at 319 Lovell Road, right outside Turkey Creek off the interstate. They're a great partner of ours. They will be sponsoring the Knoxville Ice Bears podcast all year. Go by and check them out. They've got great wings, great burgers, love the tater tots and the French fries over there. So be sure to head on out to Wings Etc. Keep in mind, Tuesday night, you've got the $6 diner burger deal. Take advantage of so many great options that they have for you, and a great place to watch the game, whatever sport you're a fan of. TVs galore with their pub environment out at Wings Etc. So mentioned before that the Knoxville Ice Bears played a preseason game on Friday. They defeated Birmingham, played in overtime and a shootout period as well. But a late development for the roster of that game, as Knoxville had several players up in the ECHL, needed to get some bodies to come on in. One of those bodies was the Knoxville Ice Bears' very own corporate sales executive, Drew King, who you may know as a former Ice Fall from 2018 to 2023, now the current head coach of the Tennessee Ice Falls, and you've probably seen him doing many things for the Knoxville Ice Bears around the office, especially on game days. Fanboni driver at one point during his time here. So Drew, really appreciate it. But the big news for you from Friday is that you scored a goal, the first goal of the game in that preseason game. So what have the last what's the last week been like for you?
Yeah. Honestly, Johnny, Coach Johnny Gerskis, he called me on Friday afternoon. It was round two, saying we need a body. Do you know anybody around the Knoxville area that can suit up? And he immediately said, "Look in the mirror." So that was kind of the note to me that it was my time to go. Obviously, I haven't played competitive hockey in 3 years, so I was a little apprehensive at first. But obviously my first shift, I was rewarded with a turnover in front and took advantage. So it was definitely a fun experience, one that I'll never forget. That was enhanced by the guys in the locker room and Coach Gerskis. So I'm really appreciative to them.
So this all just happened just a few hours before the game on Friday, then, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What was your initial reaction? What was your thought when you realized, oh my gosh, I'm about to suit up and play in a professional hockey game?
Yeah, I had never actually worn a visor before either, so that was probably the biggest difference, I would say. And obviously the speed of the game too is definitely an uptick from what I'm used to playing. I played USPHL Premier juniors like eight 8 years ago. I started, and then it's just been a whirlwind to go into a pro hockey game. So really thankful to Coach Gerskis for the opportunity, because it was definitely one that I'll remember.
Yeah, and looking at this picture here, especially with all the guys celebrating, I mean, Cam Toby looks like he's more excited for this goal than you are. What was it like just being mauled by everybody as soon as that puck went in the net?
Yeah, I think the players were a little like, who is this guy that's working in the front office a little bit. But obviously my first shift, I was rewarded with the goal. So they were probably honestly more shocked than I was that it went in the net. And you could probably tell on their faces too how excited they were for me. So yeah.
And what was I guess the moment just like? You kind of you dropped to one knee for the celly. You pulled off the "Let me hear you" celebration afterwards. I mean, did you black out? Were you just ecstatic? What kind of happened as soon as you realized that the puck had gone in?
Yeah, the drop into the knee has kind of been my go-to celly. Obviously, haven't been able to pull it out in a while, but yeah, that's kind of my automatic go-to. And honestly, I did black out. Every big goal that I've scored is I've blacked out before. I couldn't tell you what happened. From the puck going into the net to me getting back to the bench. So it's kind of the same thing for this one, obviously, for my first pro goal.
And the team did give you the jersey after the game, so you did get to keep that. I'm sure that's going to be hung up somewhere very, very special. And as you already know, since technically having a member of your team staff suit up and play in a game that does technically violate an SPHL rule, so the Ice Bears have been fined already because of your performance. But the team has already paid that, and it sounds like it was worth it.
Yeah, honestly, I was very surprised. I've heard the rule that coaching staff cannot play in games, and that's been a pretty big rule. But um, we didn't know that it pertained to office employees, and who would think that to make that rule
For a
or
preseason
anything like
game.
that. I know for a preseason game, so but I'm appreciative to Mike Murray and Dave Feather, obviously, for paying that fine, and kind of embracing what has this has become.
And we saw the official transaction. Johnny sent it into the league office earlier today. You have officially been released, in case you haven't seen that, which was the plan. Your elite prospects page actually does have you listed as a member of the
It
2025-26
does.
Ice Bears roster. So somebody out there is probably thinking that you're suiting up on Saturday, but that is not the plan. You are going to be staying here in Knoxville, but you are also the head coach of the Tennessee Ice Falls. So after you suited up, played, and obviously had to do so much just to orchestrate your game day operation role for the Knoxville Ice Bears and for that game, which obviously you couldn't handle yourself because you were playing. But as soon as that game's over, you're changing in your uniform for a suit and tie, and then you're coaching your team against the reigning national champion University of Tampa club hockey team. And you guys pulled out a win that night. So just a huge Friday night for you on October 10th.
Yeah, obviously getting off the ice, undressed pretty quickly, got in the shower, put on the suit. Really thankful to my assistant coaches, Harry Cadmus and Garrett Griffiths, because they did a lot of the prep work for that game and made sure that our boys are ready to take on, like you said, the reigning national champs and the University of Tampa. Um, that's a very good squad, and the boys played a great game, and we ended up coming out with a W. So yes, it was quite an eventful and late night for me on October 10th.
And then you had to get up the next morning. You played in the Tennessee alumni game. You made a trip to Atlanta to go watch the Falcons play on Monday Night Football, which they won. They upset the Bills. So everything's turning up, Drew. These last few days. I don't know what's going to happen next. Maybe Team USA pulls out a gold medal in February. I don't know. Is it just something chaotic? I think is bound to happen for you here. But it's been a really good run. You did get to see this team from a really unique perspective. You and I obviously talk in the office a lot because you've got the hockey IQ and the perspective from being a player and a coach. I'm on the road with these guys all the time, but you getting to sit there and be on the bench, especially after watching this team all of last year. What do you make of this team going into this season? Obviously, don't want to overreact too much to one preseason game, but what stood out to you about Friday's performance, about what maybe Coach Gerskis has with this squad this year?
Yeah, I just really have never seen a team, this connected. Obviously, I've never been in a pro locker room before, but Jimmy is an excellent leader. He makes sure the guys are on point, and they are just talking hockey every second of every intermission. And pregame, it is just all hockey, all how we can get better, how we can improve, and just come out with a victory at each and every night. That was really the surprise and shock to me. Those guys really know how to be pros and how to win. So really excited for this team and to get an inside perspective like this. It's been special to you know see how the inner workings of the organization run. So
Now you're a Georgia native. You are a former Ice Fall. You're the Ice Falls head coach. You are officially a UT alum. So I know that while the Ice Bears are opening up this Saturday against Fayetteville, you are also going to be locked into Tennessee, Alabama. So your Tennessee
mhm.
fandom runs deep. You may be a Georgia native, but you are very much a Knoxvillian now. I think it's safe to say.
Absolutely. Yeah, my dad is an alumni of UT, so I've been a Tennessee fan my whole life, and living in Georgia, it's just created disdain for Georgia. So those not, and my wife is also a Georgia fan as well. So
Uh,
nine years in a row of losing that football game has been really tough. But yeah, third Saturday in October coming up. I'm excited for that. But obviously, the Ice Bears kick off their season in Fayetteville this weekend, and I wish them luck. I think this is going to be a really successful year for the Bears.
And so, what's next for the Ice Falls? Obviously, you all just had the 2-game weekend against Tampa this past weekend. So, what is next for your squad as you guys get ready for the rest of your year?
Yep, this Friday we are traveling to Nashville to take on Middle Tennessee State University. They've got a good squad this year, so looking forward to that. We have one game Friday, and then our next home games are October 24th and 25th, that Saturday and Sunday, against the Auburn Tigers here at the Knoxville Coliseum. So obviously, if you guys are available, would love to see you come out. I think game times are yet to be released because we're adjusting to the football schedule. So we'll get that announced as soon as possible.
It's quality hockey, and he's able to produce it from the bench and on the ice. He's Drew King. He is the Ice Bears corporate sales executive, filled in for the preseason game. We've already paid the fine for violating a league rule. It was worth it. It was 100% worth it. I know a lot of people were stoked. The social media posts, I think, were the best part about it. Why is Front Office Drew playing? That's your name now, Front Office Drew. Wondering what, and now
Yep.
everybody wants you to be signed. So I don't think fans are going to be very happy when they find out that you're not making the trip to Fayetteville. But Drew, congratulations on what has just been, I can't even imagine, an unbelievable weekend for you in so many ways. I'm sure it's very, very special for you, a moment I'm sure you'll never forget. But congrats again on getting to participate. Congrats on the win. Thanks for all the good work that you do for the front office, and we'll hopefully have a lot of fun this year. And thank you for the time in joining the podcast today.
Of course. Thank you, Joel, and thank you for doing everything that you do as well, because you do good work.
I appreciate that. That's Drew King, Ice Bears corporate sales executive, goal scorer now. So I guess we got to change the title from corporate sales executive slash winger. But very excited, very happy to have Drew on the podcast. And it's a great story. It really is. And obviously we see situations like this all the time in the SPHL where players that maybe haven't played recently do have to fill in. Connor Breen, who was also there on the preseason game, only played 3 games last year, but came in and filled in a little bit. Logan Coombs has played sparingly in the SPHL after not really having played much the previous 2 years. Obviously had that one really successful season with Macon. He spent some time in the ECHL. So we see quality players come into this league and fill in. And we don't know the full background, but it's always special when you get to see those guys contribute, especially when they can light the lamp. And Connor Breen also scored in the preseason game on Friday as well. So a lot of fun having those guys back in town. A lot of fun getting to watch Drew and be on the call for it to announce his goal. So it's a very great story for, I think, the organization as a whole. And it goes to show, I think, too, that club hockey, especially in the Southeast, is producing quality talent. It's not just Tennessee. Of course, Drew almost led the Ice Falls to a national championship a couple years ago, made it all the way to the national semifinals and lost in a tight 1-goal game. And so we've seen really good players come out of club hockey organizations throughout the country. And I think we're going to continue to see more of that. So very excited to see what's in store for the Ice Falls and for the Ice Bears this season. We appreciate you tuning in to the Knoxville Ice Bears podcast presented by Wings Etc. on Level Road. Wings Etc. Great wings, great burgers, great food, and great times. That's what awaits you at Wings Etc. Be sure to take advantage of their full-service bar. Watch all the different sporting events live in one place because they've got TVs all over the place. You can do it. You go out west to get some shopping done at Turkey Creek. Stop by to have dinner at Wings Etc. Love the staff out there. They've been good to us. If you ever attended the Ice Bears coaches show last year, that was Wings Etc. So you got to experience how great that food is. But please go support our amazing partners that are sponsoring the Knoxville Ice Bears podcast this season. We will have the call for you for Ice Bears against the Marksmen in Fayetteville. 6 o'clock puck drop on Saturday night for the season opener. And then the home opener is next Friday, October 24th against the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs. That's going to be opening night. That's a 7:30 puck drop. Tickets are still available at knoxvilleicebears.com/tickets. Thank you again for tuning in to this edition of the Knoxville Ice Bears podcast. We'll have the call for you for Saturday's game on Flow Hockey, 93.7 WBLZ, and on the Knoxville Ice Bears Game Day app. Thank you again for tuning in. I'm Joel Silverberg. We'll catch you next time right here on the Knoxville Ice Bears podcast.